Well, welcome to the true unofficial start of NASCAR Chat Series 2026. Our second season doing this. A full 20 chat cars in the field. We saw 4 of the IRL field fillers join the field earlier tonight. They are not in this race. This is chat only. It's one of the 2 chat only races we will do this year. This and the All-Star race here at Dover. Sometime in June. As for tonight, with the Budweiser Shootout, if any indication is to be taken from last year, you don't want to win this thing. Gundy, your winner a year ago, starting 10th, the purple car on the outside just under the cam, won this race last year and then got taken out on lap 2 of the Daytona 500. So if that's any sort of omen, you don't want to win this thing. But it's Yo Gamer and Ash to get us started. 75 laps here from Daytona. Caution will come out on lap 25 to break this up into a couple stages as we are green from the world's center of racing. Well, up until Miss Aaron, a couple of those past me, you might call the start of this Budweiser shootout a little bit rigged, because I was out in front. Seen a massive cycle of the front already. Yo Gamer, who was your pole sitter, back in 13th on the inside lane. Ash, who started second, still battling on that outside lane, but back into 6th place at the moment as Brayton Laster will take the lead. And Evo is up front. 24 car, of course, has a tendency to win these races that don't involve any points, or at least when points are not an option. You look back to the end of the Mazda series. He won the finale in that when he was so far out of it in points that it didn't matter. And then this last year in the NASCAR Chat Series did not win a points-paying race, but did win the All-Star race with some bold pit strategy. Now he's up front here early in the Budweiser shootout. So again, caution flag will wave when the leaders take lap 25, whoever's leading the race at that time. I'd be pretty stunned if every car didn't come down the pit lane, even though doing so does not mean that you can make this race on just that one stop. Now it gets a little bit closer, but I still think you're going to need a little bit of help if you do not do so. So I would expect everybody to be down pit road when that lap 25 yellow waves as Brayton Laster is back to the front. And good news is, very similarly to the duel at Daytona that we just ran, he's lost the draft yet. And with this race being a little bit longer and presumably that first pit stop being right around that window where you might think about it at least, I don't think we're going to see any of the stupidity that we saw in the duel with cars coming down pit road one lap and then coming down pit road again a lap or so later. So while we've got everybody here together, let's take a look at this field. I know you've seen all these schemes in the Discord, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at them here again. D. Kuzmic makes his return to the field in the 62 for RFK Racing. This car is listed as Reed Bowman. This is B. Dollarsign in the 32 for Tricon. Caleb returns in the Michigan State number 35 TVNR. He was the one that really made me even make RFK a team with that idea, and just the people that I didn't have any sort of clue as to what to do for them in terms of schemes. There were no requests or anything. A good chunk of them came here. Red Wings returns, rocking the Centennial scheme here for the Red Wings. Nice looking car. He had a teammate. I wonder whatever happened to him. Austin getting freight trained here on the inside of the Callaway Quantum. Number 19, going to be sponsored by Bill's Brewing much of this year. El Jefe remains in the 55, however, in a Toyota now with Tricon. Gundy, we already touched on this car. The driver, the winner of the Bud Shootout a year ago, but not having great luck right now in the back of the pack. Myself, back in the Hot and Now scheme, I'm going to have a couple schemes that we alternate throughout the year. This will not be the Daytona 500 scheme. Miss Airy, first time fully in the 17 car. That's the third RFK entry here. That's going to freight train Lucas on the outside in the Hooters car, finally getting his number 10. Aiden returns to the Hendrick Motorsports number 5. That's Yo Gamer on the outside at a mostly familiar look. But the Tricon 56, he was running the Truex scheme for a lot. Evo on the inside in the 24. Ash going to get freight trained here too. Pat. And then we'll move up to Jordo in the 43. Daytona 500 winner at Atlanta as well. The only two-time NASCAR Chat Series winner. And to take lap 12, close race at the line. But I think Squid and the Red Bull number 1 was the one to lead the lap. And that is a quick look through the field. A couple of these guys have some alternate schemes that you'll see as this season does move along, and certainly more to come. Evo to the 9, he wanted the 24. I don't know what to tell you. High above the Daytona International Speedway. I'll tell you what, this drone cam is a great looking cam when you get it right. But there's no really way to get it right, and half the time you do wind up just staring at the infield here. Oh God, and we didn't even touch on the car that has made its way out in front right now. That is the bright lime green, newly minted 00 of Smee. Did not win an NCS race last year, but was your Indianapolis 500 winner in the chat version of that race, which is not at all what we want to see. And of course, in typical Smee fashion, and to be as annoying as possible, the windshield banner on Smee's car is Smee. A lot of E's there. At the line, Smee will lead the lap with Yo Gamer trying to get in tight. Let's go on board for a lap around Daytona with Austin. Mr. DFL is in the front right now. 19 looking to lead, lap 15. Gundy with a great run on the 28 on the outside, and leads the lap. As aforementioned, the defending Budweiser Shootout winner. Nothing good happened to Gundy. It all got off just to a rough start. Daytona, lap 2. That race is pretty much over. Is there a way we can set anything up for my car to make its life goal to wreck Smee? No. No, but Smee has a tendency to wreck himself. So the great thing about being able to set the AI car sets and just all the different tools that this iRacing AI gives you is that you can do, well, a bunch of things, but you can also age your driver. And, each age, it does do something. Younger drivers, less experienced, maybe more aggressive, more prone to make mistakes. Old drivers, experienced, but they've lost their touch a little bit. Well, Smee in this world is 100 years old. And that dates back to last year. That's not a new thing, which is why he was one of the worst drivers in NCS Season 1. A little bit of RFK dominance up front right now. Dick Kuzmic, TVNR cars, and Gundy. Your top 3 cars with a couple of Tricon cars working together on the outside in the 3rd lane. Caleb and Red Wings together in the middle as TVNR will move up in there as Lucas joins the middle lane as well. 3 lines working. We didn't see this till well later in the run, in the duel. At least we didn't see it work. And who knows, maybe it won't work. Same deal as the duel. No fast repairs for anybody today. And I will go ahead and say that we'll go ahead and do that same thing with the debris yellows if anybody wants to call them. I will give you until 5 laps to go. When we take the 5 to go, let's clarify that because we got a little bit goofy there in the snowball shootout as to when that was happening. Remember, we used to end them on lap 20 when there was 20 laps to go. Well, I essentially gave you until it was 19 to go. Not sure where we got screwed up there. When we take the 5 to go, that'll be all she wrote for those today. Because, again, this race primarily for fun. And, you know, we do still want to finish under green, though. That's the point. So, 5 laps to go, we'll still be able to get back green, maybe get 1, 2 to go. Vidal aside. Out in front in the 32. Ash is 79 years old. So I don't know everybody's age, right? But I do try to keep it close. People whose age I do know, your driver is listed at that age. If I don't know at least a roundabout idea, I generally make them 30 years old. Kind of smack dab right in the middle there. Thinking about making a move for the lead. Let's take a lap around Daytona, but you're defending Daytona 500 champion. At least will defend her crown in a couple weeks. Aiden just took the lead as we are winding down. Just 3 laps to go before the yellow flag will come out and presumptively everybody will come in and get some fresh tires. That's actually really funny. I had, through much of last year's series, I did have you at 25, and I'm like, you know, she's probably 26 now. So you are 26 for this race, believe it or not. Lucky guess. Chase Elliott is very much not 20 years old. Miss Airy to the front. What's been an early strong showing for RFK? Now they are one of the larger teams. RFK's got 4, Tricon's got 4 cars. So I guess it would make sense, but for a while there, they were up front. Is that inside lane just going nowhere? And it is Red Wings out in front. Won the Daytona 250 to start the snowball shootout in the Gen 4 series we did in the offseason that we really just wrapped up. I was hoping for a little bit longer of a break, but life got a little chaotic there for them. Lucas to the front. Still has not won anything Many of these chat series we did, and I know we talk about the history of just the overall chat series in general. Lap 25. Lucas out in front. The yellow flag. Come out. Head down the pit lane, stack them back up, and do it all over again. Well, barring any silliness on track or with the debris caution redemptions, we'll be green to the end of this thing. Definitely don't think everybody can even think about making it to the end of this race, and I think we kind of saw that on pit lane. I think I saw some shorter pit stops. Yo Gamer especially, I think was a little bit on the short side, or at least it felt like it. As we are coming back to the green of the Budweiser Shootout, Red Wings and Lucas are on your front row to get us back underway.
We come around to take lap 33. Ash in the lead, but perhaps a bit too far out in the lead. However, holding strong for the moment. That 46 is faster than anybody else. You're about to pull away. About to see a repeat of last year. And that was so strange.
what we did see in both the Budweiser Shootout and the Daytona 500 a year ago, where the two-car tandem would work, and you could gap the field that was all packed up together, organized or not, with 2 or 3 cars. But those days long over. A couple of Chevrolets battling to the line, not much of a battle as Evo. I think it's lap 33, back out in front again as the cycle continues. Remember what we said early about the RFK cars? Not a single one right now in the top 10. And in fact, TBNR and D. Kuzmic bringing up the rear of the field right now. So let's take a look, because under that yellow flag, there were cars that stayed out. I am the first one on the track at the moment. Austin stayed out. Red Wings in the 71. Pat stayed out. Lucas and Miss Harry. Yep, got that right. I think it's Aiden, or no, yeah, Aiden and Jeff, they stayed out too. And then TBNR cars did indeed come down the pit lane. Daytona winner in the past in multiple series, Caleb, out in front here today. In the top 5, myself and the other one. Car just finds a way to the front here at Daytona, doesn't it, that 43? Budweiser Shootout, I think, for the first time today. Massive shove from the 28, way far out in front. And even, I think, scraped the apron a little bit there. One of the greatest things about iRacing, I think, is just that as this race goes along, you see the dirt build up on the cars. So cool. Other old EA games used to do that, but by the end of this race, his white cars are going to play. Caleb leads the lap. Nobody with issues yet, which is a good thing to see. And if the math is correct in our heads, pretty much anybody that comes to the pit lane from this point on, that should be your last stop of the day. Problems? Well, I don't think so. Dundee to the front. Red Wings and Pat. Squid. That's the thing here at Daytona. The front of the field turns to the rear of the field very quickly. Strong performance for him in the Daytona 500 last year too. Didn't pick up the win, but if I remember correctly, that car did lead the most laps. Oh, 89 TBNR cars getting really squirrely in the middle of the pack here. But it's like, as these runs move along, we do start to see that there's certainly a lot more movement on the turn 2 exit. Now that we've got 2 different strategies going on right now, that might happen a little bit more. Leading the lap is Squid. Not a teammate, but another Toyota trying to take the lead on the outside away from him. That's the 00 of Smee. We have some problems in the back here. There was certainly a breakup of the back of the pack. But everybody's going to hang on. Nobody's losing the draft yet. So we are rapidly approaching, I think, those cars that stayed out, which is actually the top 4 right now. All of those 4 are cars that did stay out. I would say their pit stops are coming soon. Now, they were able to save a little bit of fuel under the yellow flag, but that's going to be coming really, really soon here. We learned in the duel it's anywhere from about 40 to 45 laps that you can go. With that yellow, how much did they save? Maybe are we talking 46, 47? Hard to say. But cars at the front of the field going to be making the move to the pit lane here shortly. But also cars in the back. I mean, just because those top 3 were up there, not all got to come down together. And I mean, the number of cars that did stay out, I mean, it was less than half the field. So I would anticipate that might be. Yeah, I didn't mean for that to be, I'm gonna fix that. I didn't mean for it to be every time I made that transition back to the face cam one. That'll be corrected by Daytona. But it's meant to be the very first time I ever get into the scene. That's when it's supposed to happen. But I guess I did it wrong. We'll deal with it for today, but fix is coming. Caleb out in front. Still no moves to the pits. Now, me and Austin, ones that are going to have to pit here shortly, we're in a good spot. Sitting on the inside. I certainly wouldn't, especially with this split strategy and not everybody coming down pit road, I wouldn't want to make it up to the outside. I'm going to stay right where we're at. Pit stops this time, maybe? Yes, but perhaps not who I thought it might be. So let's see. It is Austin and Jeff, and I think just those two came down the pit lane this time. Well, a couple of God Squad members down on the pit lane. Had a God Squad alliance. Outside of Caleb, he didn't stick with us. And Vince isn't here, so. Austin and Jeff are out of the pit lane. And here come a few more. In fact, 4 cars. It is myself, Aiden, Red Wings, and Lucas. So does that leave anybody else? Yes, Pat. Pat and Miss Airy, I think, are the only cars left that have not stopped at least once. Miss Airy is on the bottom of the racetrack, but Pat is a good ways behind there. Might be running with a reduced pack here for a quick second. When I think about it, those cars that pitted earlier on, pitted under the yellow rather, have like a 25 lap fuel advantage as Miss Airy and Pat are on to the pit lane, so we settle in for what is the real race right now. The top 12 cars are the ones that pitted under the yellow flag. Evo pushing Smee. Never thought I'd see the day. tried to fix it. Let's see if it works. No! What the fuck? Well, one might say it is what it is. Oh, I know what I can do. Hold on. Oh, there we go. I screwed that up so bad. All right. Let's see. Here we go. And there we go. All right. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Bad news. As we are about to take the 25 to go, is that Smee is your leader. The good news is that there's still a long way to go. You probably won't stay there. So those cars that stayed out under that first, and so far only, yellow flag, the competition caution, they are all one lap down. Not good. But the thing is, if anybody's thinking about calling a debris caution to get everybody trapped a lap down, I would anticipate every one of these cars coming down the pit lane to top off, and then those other cars getting a wave around. So, not sure how advantageous that truly would be. Can't say I ever thought I'd see Austin pushing Smee, even though Austin's a lap down, but that's the situation we're in right now. So I would think, let's do some quick math here. Those lap 26 pitters, they are probably going to want to come down. I mean, what? It's been... Actually, I was going to say, that's some bad math. I was going to say they want to come down right now. No, we're not quite there yet. Not quite yet. So D. Kuzmic, who actually wound up being your Snowball Shootout champion after a mid to late season push, down in front for the moment. Well, hey, at least you're back in the second line now. Shocker, shocker. The 43 out in front at Daytona again. Albeit only briefly, as Evo will pass her by. Let's go through who's up here right now. Evo's never won a points-paying race. Jeff hasn't won one at all. This is only Brayton Laster's second or third ever race in the NCS. Lucas hasn't won anything. Ash, a winner at Talladega. Jordo, a two-time winner last year. TBNR Cars, a mid-season edition. D. Kuzmic, the Snowball Shootout champion. Squids had a handful of wins. Austin, who's never won anything, but he also doesn't want to win anything. He's also, at the moment, a lap down, so... And actually, as is Jeff. Just noticing that. The blending back in of the pitting cars felt like so smooth, or maybe we just weren't paying attention that they're up here. I thought they were racing for position, but some of them are not. But that does make me wonder, where is everybody else? Like, well, I think we found them. At least the vast majority of them, because Lucas, Austin are up in that main pack. Yeah, this is the rest of everybody. Good chunk of time between us and the main pack back here, but doesn't seem very organized. Running too wide when you only got 5 cars is not a great thing. So I don't know if I like anybody's chances up in here today. 18 to go. So remember, it was actually pretty close for those that wanted to do it, especially with that yellow flag time. If they wanted to have a go at trying to make it to the end of this race, I mean, you could try. I just don't know how well it'll truly work out for them. Running in a pack is going to help, but do we really trust the AI enough to truly attempt that? I would think not. So the leader of the pack is not the leader of the race. El Jefe, tail end of the lead lap here. About as tail end as you could get with the leader. You're back one. 16 to go in the Budweiser Shootout. Brayton Laster from third. Move to the outside and no help, but that might at least get something going out there. It's the inside lane right now dominating, and Evo's gonna make the slide up. There you go. Trying to deny Jordo yet another Daytona win. But Jeff being there, I mean, it makes it a little harder. You know, not racing for position. I don't really think he's going to be... Oh, see? Jordo trying to get ahead of the curve here. To the outside of El Jefe. Put Jeff back fully. 1 lap down. However, in the grand scheme of things, is that really the smartest thing to do? Especially when you're kind of tight on that fuel window. I don't know. I might have sat and rode around a little bit back there instead of towing everybody along. And Jeff just wants to be on the lead lap, so perhaps a boneheaded decision from the 43 might get bailed out by just a regular-ass decision for the 55. Now, speaking of the 55, if this doesn't... If everybody in this main pack, the lap 26 pitters, if they don't have enough to make it to the end, Jeff is one of the ones that I like the odds the most of right now. Like, he did lead this group for a long time, but he's had much higher speeds than just about any of the other cars that pitted with us here. I don't know. This might be about to get very messy. Flag is to come out again. I would still expect all those lap 45, 46 pitters to stay out and try and get back on the lead lap. It's the iRacing AI. Who knows if there's any intelligence actually in there? But that's what I would think would be the right call. And for everybody else, I mean, that might bridge that gap just enough to the point that you could be able to make it to the end again with no stops. It's hard to say. But in terms of calling that yellow, I don't know if I do it. It's really tough. Like, it's so close both ways that I'm not really sure who any of this truly benefits. Sorry, I tried to fade out before a sneeze. We come around to take the 10 to go, and Lucas wins the race to the line in the Hooters number 10. Is there any funny business to happen at all? I mean, I think it's probably a good idea to take a look at that other group of cars that is actually broken up. Miss Harry, Aiden, and Pat have broken away from Red Wings and myself, which is bad news for everybody involved back here. But then, coming through, I believe, 3 and 4, I mean, in danger of going a lap down, and maybe me and Red Wings are gonna fucking throw a wrench into this whole finish. Oh wait, Lucas is another one of those lap down cars. Remember that. So Smee was your leader for a moment. Gundy just fell off the pace there for a moment. Dropped all the way back, and Caleb just with a rocket strapped to him, ripping it around the outside here at Daytona with 9 to go. Shouldn't be able to do that by yourself. But alas, he did. Yo Gamer clear, and Ash is just kind of rolled around in the back much of this second run, at least of ever since the 45-46 pit stops. He's kind of been riding around. Now up in the mix. Late stages. TBNR cars move to the outside. Yo Gamer leader, that is for position. 8 laps to go in the Budweiser Shootout. Caleb's still trying that outside lane with no help whatsoever. Maybe he's just up there because he thinks he's got enough to make it to the end of this thing. I don't know. 36 to the front. but you can gap the leaders, that's for damn sure. Pitting by himself. Bold call. Smee. Not sure I understand that, but that's such a Smee thing to do. That does signal to me, because Smee wasn't really like up front for any long period of time here in this spot. Quick 4-second gas and go for Smee. But that does signal to me that I don't think anybody can make it to the end. If we're pitting with 7 to go. So coming around, who's coming down this time? Brayton Laster by himself. So far, nobody's pitted with any sort of help. So Laster to 11. Stevie and our cars leads. Don't do this, guys. Don't come down all by your lonesome. I know you've been running faster than anybody all day, but that's certainly gonna at least open the door for anybody else. This might come down to who pits with friends and who doesn't. About to take the 5 to go. Debris cautions are going to end, and we have a 5-car group into the pits. We're 3 wide in here. This could turn into a real mess if TB&R Cars is the one that needs to pit first. There was some slight contact, and TB&R Cars hit by the 56. Doesn't look like it's anything major, but oh boy. 5 laps to go. It's B $sign out in front. Snowball Shootout winner. I didn't like the look of that right when they got onto the pit lane. I'm like, just watch. The 89 is gonna be the one that has to pit first. $sign Caleb Evo to the pit lane. They look like they're flirting with trying to do the same. So Squid will inherit the lead here. D. Kuzmic has also not pitted yet. He's got Austin with him. With 4 laps to go here from Daytona. We have pitting chaos. 4 to go in the duel. It appears to be happening again. Is Squid's hope just to ride behind the lap down car of Lucas and try and make it to the end of this thing? No, to the pit lane, as is D. Kuzmic. So reset everything. Your on-track lead is Caleb with $sign behind. Evo. Those 5 cars that lost touch with everybody else kind of got freight trained. They are still screwed. That's Pat, Aiden, Miss Airy, Red Wings, and myself. So now we get the true race for the lead here and the race for the win. Squid is still technically your leader. He's all by himself here. This is the group I think we need to watch. Caleb, Evo, $sign. But getting some traffic from behind by those cars that are once again a lap down. And actually, Squid's still your leader. Looks like he's gonna get freight trained here. Evo might get picked off in behind him. That'd certainly be unfortunate. To the lead goes $sign. As we are coming to the 2 to go here at Daytona, Squid to the pits. Again, we saw it in the duels. These late race pit stops throwing wrenches into everything again. So Pat in the 3 leads the group, but he's down in 16th. Ever so slightly on the lead lap. We have a lap and a half to go from Daytona. And I mean, who's gonna pull out? Is anybody gonna pull out? Aiden is trying. He's not a factor either. It really is $, Evo, Smee, and Caleb battling for the lead. Final lap of the Budweiser Shootout. I'd say I like where Caleb is right now, but the 5 is pulling away from him. Here goes the 32 to the outside. Opens the door, potentially, for a really close finish here. 2 lines of 3 cars. Oh, the 5 to the bottom, the lap down car. Does that give the advantage to the 24? Here they come. Broke it up again. Who's gonna have it? Coming to the line of the Budweiser Shootout. Evo and $, at the line. Evo wins the Budweiser Shootout by a nose. What a finish here at Daytona. The 24 is your winner. One of the closest finishes we have ever seen in NASCAR Chat Series history. It might even beat the Atlanta finish from last year, I'm not sure. Evo starts 2026 strong with a Budweiser Shootout victory. B $, aka Reed Bowman in second, Smee third, Caleb fourth, Gundy, last year's Shootout winner, in fifth. Ash will bring it home 6th, D. Kuzmic 7th, Jordo at 8th, Yo Gamer 9th, Lucas in 10th, and somehow I did not finish last here in tonight's race.